Hey friends, if you enjoy DIYs and you love your plants, this week's episode is for you. We will be making homemade planters using all sorts of things to keep your plants happy. Hi, I'm Jess, and as a homemaker, I get into all kinds of projects around my house, and I like to bring you along with me. So come join the fun as we keep your plants happy in homemade planters. Let's go! While shopping at a thrift shop in Pennsylvania with my sister-in-law, I came across this little tiny vase that had a flat back, and I thought this would be the cutest propagation magnet for the refrigerator. I cleaned off that price tag with the Glue Gone from the Dollar Tree, and I also bought these magnets from the Dollar Tree. Using hot glue, I glued them onto the back. I started out with two. I did end up adding two more because after I put water and the plant in it, it was a little too heavy and it was sliding down the refrigerator. But here is the finished product. I think it is so cute and adds such a sweet botanical touch to the refrigerator. I found this sweet little strawberry teacup and saucer in the Goodwill bins. I am so surprised that it wasn't broke. If you guys have been there, you know how crazy it can be at the Goodwill bins, and things just get tossed around, and there's actually sometimes broken glass in the bin, so you have to be careful. But I was so happy to find this matching set. I started out by gluing the teacup to the saucer. As you can see there, I'm almost out of the Gorilla Super Glue. But I used what I had, and then I used a little bit of hot glue as well. Since it dries super fast, it will help hold the teacup in place, giving the Gorilla Super Glue time to dry. After I had that attached, I let it dry, and then I went ahead and filled the teacup with potting soil. I have quite the collection of propagated plants, so I used this cute little neon pothos and put it here in this teacup. I added a plate holder. I took it outside and hung it on our fence post. I got this idea off of Pinterest and I thought it was so cute. I've actually had it saved for years. And I finally came across this hurricane candle holder at a thrift shop. So after I took that price sticker off and got that cleaned out, I got to working on it. I made a lime wash here for the bottom part. I wanted to lighten up that dark wicker color with the white paint, but I did not want to totally have it white. So I just went over it with this thinned out white paint, leaving some of the dark wicker showing through. I then found this faux plant for $1.99 at the thrift shop. So I took that price tag off and I removed the faux plant that was on the inside. And the Glue Gone spray from the Dollar Tree actually works very well. I just spray it on, and usually I can just wipe it off with a paper towel. There was a little bit of styrofoam left in the bottom, but I was fine with that. I feel like since there wasn't a drainage hole in this pot, that the styrofoam in the bottom would kind of act like drainage for the plant. I applied the hot glue to the bottom, and then I glued the pot right inside of the hurricane base. I added the potting soil and a plant, and I made sure that I chose a plant that grew up vertically and didn't necessarily hang over the pot, so that it would just grow straight and not like down in between the pot and the vase. And how cute is this? It really looks a lot like the one that I had pinned for years on Pinterest, and finally I was able to execute that with thrifted finds. I found this mailbox at a thrift store that I had never been to before. It was super cute, and I often have oblong spaces either on a dresser or on a countertop that I need to fill, but it needs to be a longer object. So I thought that this would be perfect to either use as a shelf sitter, or it does have holes in the back that you can hang it on a wall. After removing the sticker with the glue gone again, I decided that I was going to use chalk paint to paint the entire mailbox. This color is called Vanilla Frosting, and it's made by Country Chic. I painted all surfaces of the mailbox, and then I gave it a second coat and then wanted to distress it all. And after everything was dry, I used a 220 grit sandpaper to lightly sand the entire mailbox. I used a little bit firmer pressure on the mail part there, and as well as the other raised areas, just to make those parts a little more distressed. I like the idea of a mailbox, but that black shiny color wasn't cutting it for me. I wanted it to feel light and airy, and that is why I chose to paint it. I then used Annie Sloan clear wax to give the whole entire mailbox a protective coat. And while I was waxing, I realized I should have painted the bottom of the mailbox as well as the back and under the lid, just in case I have this displayed in an area where you could see the bottom or the back of the piece. It just gives it a more finished look, and I should have done that before I sanded and waxed. But that's okay, it all works out in the end. After the potting soil and the plants, I put this on my dresser to display. And like I said, it's a nice oblong piece, so it fits very well on an oblong dresser. And this also was a Pinterest idea. I had some fresh cut flowers around, so I thought that I would give this a try. I had gotten a pair of old jean shorts at Goodwill. I made sure I got them in an extra big size so that the whole entire back panel, or half of the back panel, would fit into this frame. So I think that these are maybe a size 20 or 22 in women's, or an XXL. So I went ahead and made sure they would fit in the frame and then cut it to size. I did have to cut a little excess off as I went. And I just used a glue gun to attach this to the back of the frame. And here again, I should have done this before adding the jean in, but it was kind of an afterthought. I took my Rust-Oleum Java glaze and darkened up the detailing on that frame just to make it a little bit more prominent and visible. I like the way that it makes it look a little bit older and antiqued. And like I said, probably should have done that before I put the jean in the back, but it all worked out just fine. After I had everything glued well, I used this baseball card holder. I wanted to insert this into the pocket so that I can put water inside, and it worked great. Then I got my fresh cut flowers and added the stems inside of the baseball card protector. After I had the flowers all inside of that protector, I pulled the jean pocket out towards me and then added water inside of that baseball card protector so that my flowers would have some fresh water. And here I just have it propped up on my kitchen counter. I think it looks super cute, super summery with those jean short vibes. You could also hang this on a wall, or I even thought it would be cute to add a jute string to the top and hang it on the door for a wreath. You could fill that pocket as full of flowers as you want, or you could even use it as a propagating station for plants and have the plants draping down over the pocket. For this next project, I will be using all thrifted items. I found these gold wreath rings. There was actually 2 packs and I bought them both. Each pack had 2 large rings and 2 small rings, but here I just ended up using 2 large and 1 small for this project. I connected them all using zip ties. The zip ties I did find at the Dollar Tree. I think they came in a pack of 20 for $1.25. And then I folded the top two large rings together and zip tied them at the top. You can see there how I'm doing it. I cut off the excess zip tie part that I did not use, and I had some twine that I wrapped around the zip tie to hide it. I did that on all 3 zip ties, using just a dab of hot glue to keep it all in place. I did add another piece of the jute twine to the top so that I had a place to hang it from, and then decided it needed just a little bit something extra. So I had these beads in my stash. I used Scotch tape to tape one of the ends so that it would be easier to thread the beads. I threaded all the beads onto the twine and then I retied it to the planter. Made sure it was really secure so that it would be able to hold the weight of the plant. I found this awesome pot at the thrift shop. It's kind of an old crock, and I think it probably originally had a lid. It did not come with the lid, but I thought it would make the perfect planter. So I went ahead and added the potting soil to it, and then added some plants. And that fit perfectly in the planter. And I decided I wanted to hang this in my bathroom because I have the perfect window in my bathroom that lets in a lot of sun. And there you have it. Such an easy way to get the plant off of a counter or a piece of furniture and have it in the air close to a window where it can get lots of sun. So I think this came out super cute, and let me know down in the comments, what do you think? You can also use embroidery hoops for this project as well if you can't find the gold wreath rings. For planter number 7, you guys had a sneak peek of this little plastic planter that I found on my thrift shop finds last week. I really thought it was super cute with that hole in and the flat back. I knew that I could mount it to something, but I did not like that glossy white plastic look. So I did go over it with chalk paint. And then I found this board at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So I went ahead and stained it with my Rust-Oleum Java glaze. And if you know me, like you've seen last week with the electric issue, I do not do well with power tools and things like that. So finding these boards for me meant that I did not have to wait for Jerry to help. I got this idea from another content creator. Her name is Mary Yoder over at White Cottage Company. You guys should check her out. She reminds me so much of myself, just doing projects as a homemaker, except she is really good with power tools, and you know I'm not. But she calls this cheat distress, just using a Sharpie marker to go along the edges to make it look like it's distress, but it's really not. So thanks, Mary, for this tip. And like I said, check out the White Cottage Company on YouTube. After I had all of that sheet distressed, I did use a little bit of hot glue to secure it to the board, and then I put a very short screw into the hole on the top of the pot there to make sure that it would not fall off of the board. And when you're putting screws into very thin pieces of boards like this, it's important to take the screw and put it up against the side of the board so you know that it's not going to poke through the other side. So I got that on there and I colored the screw black with the Sharpie marker. Added the potting soil. And then I put one of my favorite plants that I was working on propagating, the Swiss cheese monstera. Gave that a home right there in this pot, which will be hung in my bedroom by our bedroom window so that I can see every morning when I wake up. You could add a hanger or hooks to the back of this if you prefer, but because it had a little bit of weight to it, I just took a screw right through the front of the board into the wall so that I made sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere. And if you are still here and enjoying this content, like every week, I ask that you would like our page, hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode, share this content with a friend, maybe on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, and leave me a comment. Let me know at the end which was your favorite planter this week. For this next project, you'll need to get a small trash can. I purchased mine from the Dollar Tree for $1.50. I don't prefer that shiny black plastic look, so I did go over it with a coat of the Country Chic Vanilla Icing Chalk Paint. I think I did 2 coats total, sanding with 220 grit sandpaper in between and then at the end as well. I did not seal mine, but if you want to have it outside or on a porch, I would suggest sealing it. You can get a clear spray paint sealer that makes it easy. You could use a wax or just a regular polyacrylic sealer. You'll also need a pool noodle. Again, I paid $1.50 for this at the Dollar Tree, and you'll just cut it into sections, filling up the trash can. This planter is going to be best for faux flowers because if you put water in this, of course, those pool noodles are going to just pop to the top. So I used faux flowers for mine. And you just put the stems right inside of the hole of the pool noodle or in between if you run out of holes. And it helps hold the arrangement into place. I then added Spanish moss around the bottom to cover up the pool noodles. You can order moss online or get it at a craft store. Or if your flower arrangement is full enough, you might not need the moss to cover up the pool noodle. But there you have it. I think it is a great way to display faux flowers. I'm sure there's a way that you could use it to display real flowers as well. But like I said, those pool noodles are going to float to the top if you add water. For this next project, I used 2 more of those Dollar Tree wood pieces, and I painted them with that same color Country Chic Vanilla Icing chalk paint. I gave them 2 coats on the front sides. The back sides will be against the wall, so I did not paint them. And then I needed to cut out 2 triangular pieces from each side. So I attempted to use the power tool with the 3rd piece of wood. And everything was going great until this piece here, when the saw decided to kick on me, which just made me a little bit more nervous because y'all know how I am with power tools. And sorry, my arm's in the way there, but I just wanted to show you sometimes what those saws can do. So Jerry came to my rescue again, cut me some triangular pieces, and then used the pin nailer to pin them on to the piece for me. After he had everything assembled, I went ahead and touched up all those pieces with the Country Chic Vanilla Icing chalk paint. And I'm so thankful that I have him. I so often attempt to do things all by myself, and I just don't have the experience that he has. And so he makes everything look so easy, and it takes me so much effort. But I want to keep trying because I want to get better at using the power tools and to become less afraid of using them. So I went ahead and screwed them right to the wall with Colby's help. And then I added the planters that I got from Goodwill. The 2 small ones on the end were 99 cents, and the one in the middle was $1.49. For this last project, you will need a glass craft cube. I did find mine at a thrift shop for $4.99, but you can get these at any craft store. I also had this poster that I got in a pack of things from Temu one time. It was a Claude Monet painting, and I wanted to put it on the side of the glass cube to use it for a bookend. And I was attempting to make the side of this glass look like a book spine. So I used the Mod Podge and put a generous amount of that on the side, and then attached the piece of the poster there to the side. I made sure I pressed firmly down into all those creases, making sure that it was protruding in the areas that were more raised. I used a marker end to help me make sure I got that all down in those grooves. And then I used more Mod Podge to go over top of the poster. There was a little line at the bottom of this poster that said Claude Monet and had the title of the painting. And so I decided to put that on the side of this vertically so that it looked kind of like the title of a book. Again, used generous amount of Mod Podge to secure everything. And then after that was all dry, I filled the glass cube with water and added one of my propagated plants. And here it is sitting on a shelf with a few more books that I had. I think it came out very cute, especially for the book lover in your life. I think this would make a perfect gift. If you guys hung in there all the way to the end, I thank you so much. I ask that you hit that thumbs up button and that notification bell. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I had a lot of fun making these homemade planters. And until next week, friends, I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.